Welcome, and thank you for joining me for a very special look at some of the many diverse materials available here at Tulare Public Library. My name is Heidi Clark, and I am the library manager. Now, you might not think to look at all of them, but each of the volumes displayed here in front of us has something in common. All of them have been banned, challenged, pulled from shelves, or otherwise removed from public access at a library or a bookstore, many of them in the last 5 years. That's right, all of these books have made ALA, the American Library Association's list, for Banned Book Week. Now, what is Banned Book Week? It is a time to celebrate our right to read what we want to read, to enjoy the amazing diversity of print and e-materials available to us, to be grateful for a library that provides access to a wide range of materials, meeting the needs of a diverse community, to think about the power of the written word, and to challenge censorship. Banned Book Week was established in 1982 during a time in this country where there were a lot of concerns about reading material. According to an article in Sparked Press entitled "The History of Banned Books," the purpose of the movement was to bring awareness and remove restriction from books. Banned Book Week aims to build a community of acceptance where all forms of art are accepted despite their unpopular ideas or themes. Now, book banning is nothing new. History is full of those who have tried to discourage free access to ideas. In 212 BC, Chinese Emperor Shi Ti burned all the books in his kingdom. This after burying several hundred scholars alive so that they couldn't continue to write. Caliph Omar burned the library in Alexandria, over 200,000 volumes, in 640 AD. In 1525, 6,000 copies of Tyndale's Bible, printed in English, were burned in England because church authorities wanted it only to be available in Latin. The Nazis in the 1930s burned books written by Jews, communists, and others who challenged their belief structure. This country, too, has seen many cases of banned and challenged materials. John Steinbeck's notable novel, The Grapes of Wrath, was burned in Bakersfield after its publication because it challenged the rights of some of the farmers. So, why do people want to ban books? And what do they want to accomplish? Oh, there are two pieces. There's a challenge, which means it's an attempt to remove or restrict materials or services based on content, and a ban, which is removal of materials or cancellation of services based on content. Again, all of these things are content-based. Now, that doesn't mean that content is always the way they've interpreted it. So, last year, over 607 items made the discussion. The rise of 14%. Some of those content reasons that people give include witchcraft, sexually explicit, violence, sex education, profanity, political viewpoint or religious viewpoint, inaccuracy, racist content, nudity, and much, much more. So, we have a variety of materials here, some of which may be familiar to you. The Bible, banned or challenged due to religious viewpoint. Could be said the same for many other religious tracts. Also, one of the reasons given for banning this book, Nazarene's Secret School, which is a true story about a young girl in Afghanistan who wants to go to school. in an area where schools are not allowed to serve young girls. Webster's Dictionary. This is the collegiate edition. Many of us have used it over our years. This was challenged in some elementary schools because of inappropriate content, and because people are concerned about some of these words being found by young people. Although some people said, well, where else are they supposed to go to find the information, right? One of the classics that makes the list on a regular basis, Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, for use of the N-word, nigger, a word that was regularly used in the context and the time and place the story is set. Many of these issues have to do with content and context, people taking things out of context to be concerned. Harry Potter, again, a very famous title, often confused or challenged for references to magic and witchcraft. This book, George, which is the #1 title on the list this year. It's been on the list for several years. Initially when it came on, it was challenged because it had a transgender character. Now one of the reasons they give for challenging it is because schools and libraries should not put books in the child's hand that require discussion. Discussion is an important thing. Open discussion of ideas is one of the tenets this country was founded on, and it's an important way to pay attention. One of the things that amazes me about this is how many of these books are geared for children. And we know that children are not the ones raising these issues. It's the parents. Now, I'm not saying parents don't have the right to choose for their child, but they don't have the right to choose for all of us. If you don't want your child to read a book, that's fine. But you don't get to tell me what I let my child read. And you don't get to tell me what I get to read. So, if your child has concerns about some of these things, sit down and talk with them about it. But realize that every parent has the right to choose for their own child. That every person has the right to choose for themselves. We look at a book like Winnie the Pooh. Many of us read it growing up. This book receives challenges because people are concerned about the fact that the animals in the story talk. It's a story. If they want to tell the story using animals that talk, it's another thing. Sometimes they challenge this book because he's naked. He's a bear. Okay, yeah, he wears a t-shirt. And they've banned it in China because there are some feelings that it makes negative references to one of their political figures. Everybody has reasons for things. So, one of the ones, Eleanor and Park, another one that's been around for a while. Offensive language. All of these things, they're all reasons to be concerned, but they're not reasons to stop reading. The important thing is to realize that the books are here for everyone. You make your choices, I make my choices. We hope that one of your choices is to come down to Tulare Public Library and check out something fun to read. And if you want a list of these materials or others that have been included in the Bound and Challenge list, ask one of our staff members and we'd be happy to provide it for you. So we hope to see you next week during our celebration of Bound Book Week. Thank you and have a great day.